invite in two public figures. They are YouTube podcasters, but I just want to invite them in. They don't have to come if they don't want to, but I consider these two people my teachers. I believe that at
Mm.
least one of them might know who I am, actually. But these are the people
Oh.
that talk about the old world civilization. They do a lot of research about, the
Oh.
civilization in the past that's been buried and we don't know about. So I want to share with you this screen that shows their pictures, and I'm just inviting them in. I don't know if they want to comment. There's probably no but when I'm asking the question of the next two guests, these two people might point me in the right direction, perhaps. So on the left is a man named Chris, and he's the host of Old World Exploration. He,
Oh.
he's the guy I think might be aware of who I am because I keep tagging his videos in my podcast. And then on the right is Michelle Gibson, and she's a very industrious studier of the missing civilization. So, they're welcome to come in if they want to watch the show, because I plan on calling Queen Califia, the queen of the island of California, and Captain Meriwether Lewis of the Lewis and Clark expedition, because I want to explore some of these old world ideas. So if they're there,
Okay, yeah.
okay. All right. So now I'm going to switch screens again and talk about Queen Califia. Have you met Queen Califia before, Psychic Liz Cross?
No.
All right. So they say in California's history, we don't know if it's myth or whatever. I think I got this right. There was a queen named Califia. She was the queen of the. There we go. This is the one I want. I'm better off just reading off here. In his early
Okay.
In his early 16th century novel Las Cercas de Esplandian, Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo described the fictional island of California as an all-female, gold-rich land ruled by the beautiful, strong Queen Califia, sometimes Queen Calafia, and that's where the name California comes from. So she's a character in a story from the 1500s. But my question is, was she really just a character, or was she a real person?
Was she really just a character, or was she? Oh, are you there? Sorry, this seems to be the internet keeps cutting out.
I'm
Uh,
here.
was she really a real? She was a real person.
All right, that's what I thought. Um, is she present with you right now, Her Majesty?
Yes, yes,
Is,
she is.
I want to say it's a great honor for her to join us. Thank you very much, Queen Califia. So I would like to ask her, was California at one time an island?
Oh, was California at one time an island? No.
Does she know why there are so many maps that show California as an island?
Do you know why there are so many maps that show California as an island? That's not that's not California. It looks very similar. I feel that is underwater.
So her island of California is underwater.
Is your island of California? So it's it's not the same California as where you live. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So so her island was separate. Is that right?
So it might have been somewhere in what we regard as the Pacific Ocean, and then if waters rose and lands sunk, it's possible that
Mm-hmm.
her land got sunk under the ocean.
Yes.
Okay.
That her land is under the ocean. It's sunk.
Was she a human like you and me, Psychic Liz Cross, or was she a different kind?
Were you a human? Yes, she was a human.
It is
She
said,
was.
okay, it is said that her land had hippogriffs. Hippogriffs are like these giant flying lion guys. Does she know anything about hippogriffs?
Your land, this giant flying lion guy. Was it? Those were spirits.
Ooh.
They could actively speak to spirits. They would have visitations all of the time. It was a very spiritual area.
We're talking about all the Amazons that lived in her realm. Is that correct?
Is that what we're talking? Yes, and everyone there was a medium.
And is it true that you only had a female society and that men were not part of the society?
Oh, is it true that you only had a female? No, there were a handful of men, but no, that, yeah, no, it wasn't all female, but it was definitely predominantly female.
Was there a thing called parthenogenesis going on? If you only had a few males, that would be a lot of uh, women to help sire children. Or did some of these Amazon women do parthenogenesis, where they gave birth to children without male participation?
Did, um, no, no, they had a lot of, the men were used to procreate.
Sounds like difficult, long work to procreate if you're outnumbered like that, but I guess we can salute those members of your society, Your Majesty. Uh,
Yeah. What
so,
is interesting is that
yeah,
most of the children that were born were female.
yeah. So there is a story about the island of California that I realize the hippogriffs are spirits, but the story went that the hippogriffs, if a man came to the island, the hippogriffs would pick him up and they'd fly him through the air and then they'd drop him to kill him and then they would eat him. And sometimes even the females would eat them too.
That is correct.
So the females would eat dead men who landed on their property.
So the females would eat dead men. Yes.
This is totally fascinating.
Oh my God, I've never heard of this stuff.
All right. So let's make it even more interesting, shall we? Your Majesty, Queen Califia, were you in regular contact with any civilizations off world?
Ooh, were you in regular contact with any civilization? Oh, all the time.
What period of history would I recognize are we talking about here? Are you talking about the 1600s, the 1300s? When would you be speaking to all these? When was your civilization, your society, in contact with the ones we're talking about off world?
So the here's society. Are we talking about the six? No, we're not talking about the 1600s. This is more like the 1200s.
Okay. Were you in regular contact with any inner Earth civilizations?
Like the fairies and things like that, like spirits, earth spirits, and what about inner earth civilizations? No, not so much inner earth, but definitely like spirits, like the spirit of the wind and the spirit of the sun and the spirit of the rain, things like that.
Were there time travelers in your society?
Well, ooh, were there time travelers? No,
Was she aware of any time travelers in her day?
no, she wasn't.
Okay. So I realize that the California where I live is different than the one that she's famous for, but I wonder if she would like to offer any advice to people who live in the state of California or even in Baja California in Mexico. Does she have any advice for us?
Do you have any advice for the residents of California? Why is she saying get out now? Why are you saying that? She's telling me there's an earthquake coming. Is it going to be a bad? There's going to be a series of earthquakes. California will eventually break off at some point. Not obviously on the lines of demarcation, but it's going to go through a series of really bad earthquakes over a 10-year period. And when is that coming? Is that coming anytime soon? No, but she's saying in around 50 years time, which is soon enough. It's going to do a lot of damage. to California. There's going to be a lot of death there, is what she's saying. And I'm asking her, well, is that your message? She's like, yeah, you're going to have to leave because it's going to be so severe. It's going to like crack open and swallow up people, and it's going to happen over and over and over and over again. Um, okay. So that's what she says.
I want to thank her so much for her candor and her good advice. Thank you, Your Majesty. I just have like one last question for her. I wrote a play a long time ago to teach kids about the island of California. It was called The Road to California. And in the play, I portrayed Queen Califia's throne room, and I hope I did a good job. And now I'm wondering why I was drawn to that material. So I have a question. Does my soul already have a connection to Your Majesty Queen Califia, or is this our first encounter?
You already have a connection, a very strong connection. You two have known each other in past lives before. Now, I don't think it was in this 1200 period. I don't, was it in the 1600 period? No, not necessarily. You had a past life in the Middle East with her. And she was ruler then too. She's been a ruler in a lot of lifetimes. She likes that role.
I don't blame her.
She was a ruler in Egypt, and you were there and you worked under her, but you two had a lot of respect for one another. But that's going back thousands of years.
It's a great pleasure to see you again and to be of service to you, Your Majesty. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Uh,
I've never heard of her, but I will definitely look her up more now.